Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to day 37 of Quran in a Year Plus, where we learn to look at the world and live life according to the lens of the Quran. Today we're going to be looking at verses 38 to 49 of Surah Imran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. هنالك دعا زكريا ربه قال رب هب لي من لدنك ذرية طيبة إنك سميع الدعاء. When Zakariyyah saw the provision that Allah miraculously gave to Mary, daughter of Imran, he became hopeful that Allah would give him a child despite being very old and his wife being barren. So he said, O my Lord, give me a good child, so indeed you hear and grant the supplication of the person who supplicates to you. فنادته الملائكة وهو قائم يصلي في المحراب أن الله يبشرك بيحيى مصدقا بكلمة من الله وسيدا وحصورا ونبيا من الصالحين. The angels called out to him while he stood in prayer in his place of worship, saying, Allah gives you good news of a child to be born to you, whose name will be Yahya. He will confirm a word from Allah, which refers to Jesus, son of Mary, as Allah uniquely created him with a word from him. This child will lead his people in knowledge and worship. He will be innocent, avoiding desires, including approaching women. He will dedicate himself to worshipping his Lord and be a prophet among righteous people. قال رب أنى يكون لي غلام وقد بلغني الكبر وامرأتي عاقر قال كذلك الله يفعل ما يشاء. When the angels gave him the good news about Yahya, Zakariyyah said, O my Lord, how can I have a child after I have become old and my wife cannot bear children? Allah replied, the example of Yahya's creation despite your old age and your wife being barren is like the creation of anything Allah wishes to create, even though it is out of the ordinary. This is because Allah is the most capable of everything and does whatever He wills in His kingdom with knowledge. قال رب اجعل لي آية قال آيتك ألا تكلم الناس 3 أيام إلا رمزا واذكر ربك كثيرا وسبح بالعشي والإبكار. Zakariyyah said, O my Lord, give me a sign that my wife is pregnant. Allah said, the sign you want is that you cannot speak for 3 whole days except by using gestures, and this will not be because of any disability. So remember Allah much and exalt Him at the start and end of every day. وَإِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَاكِ وَطَهَّرَكِ وَاصْطَفَاكِ عَلَى نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِينَ. Remember, O Messenger, when the angels said to Mary, Allah has chosen you because of your praiseworthy qualities. He has purified you from all defects and chosen you over all the other women of your time. يا مريم قنتي لربك واسجدي واركعي مع الراكعين. O Mary, lengthen your standing in prayer, prostrate to your Lord, and bow down with His righteous slaves who bow down to Him. ذلك من أنباء الغيب نوحيه إليك وما كنت لديهم إذ يلقون أقلامهم أيهم يكفل مريم وَمَا كُنْتَ لَدَيْهِمْ إِذْ يَخْتَصِمُونَ. The story of Zakariyyah and Maryam is knowledge of the unseen, which we revealed to you, O Messenger. When they argued about who was most entitled to bring up Mary, you were not there with those scholars and righteous people. So they eventually decided to draw lots by throwing their pens, and the pen of Zakariyyah won. إذ قالت الملائكة يا مريم إن الله يبشرك بكلمة منه اسمه المسيح عيسى ابن مريم وجيها في الدنيا والآخرة ومن المقربين. Remember, O Messenger, when the angels said, O Maryam, Allah gives you good news of a child who will be created without a father, merely by a word from Allah such as be, and he will become a child by Allah's will. This child's name will be the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary. He will have a high rank in this world and the hereafter and be one of those brought close to Allah. وَيُكَلِّمُ النَّاسَ فِي الْمَهْدِ وَكَهْلًا وَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. This child will miraculously speak to people when he is a small baby, and speak to them when he grows up and becomes a man. He will tell them what is best for them in their religious and worldly affairs. He will also be one of those who are righteous in speech and deeds. قالت رب أنى يكون لي ولد ولم يمسسني بشر قال كذلك الله يخلق ما يشاء إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. Maryam was surprised that she was to have a child without a husband and said in astonishment, How can I have a child when no man has come near me lawfully or unlawfully? The angel told her, Just as Allah will create a child for you without a father, He creates whatever He wishes, even though it may be out of the ordinary. When Allah wishes for something, He says be, and it is. Nothing can render Him incapable. وَيُعَلِّمُهُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ. Allah will teach him to write and say and do things correctly. He will teach him the Torah that He had revealed to Musa and the Gospel that He will reveal to him. وَرَسُولًا إِلَى بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ أَنِّي قَدْ جِئْتُكُمْ بِآيَةٍ مِّن رَّبِّكُمْ أَنِّي أَخْلُقُ لَكُم مِّنَ الطِّينِ كَهَيْئَةِ الطَّيْرِ فَأَنفُخُ فِيهِ فَيَكُونُ طَيْرًا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ وَأُبْرِئُ الْأَكْمَهَ وَالْأَبْرَصَ وَأُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ وَأُنَبِّئُكُم بِمَا تَأْكُلُونَ وَمَا تَدَّخِرُونَ فِي بُيُوتِكُمْ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah will likewise make him a messenger to Bani Israel, instructing him to say to them, I am Allah's messenger to you. I have brought you a sign proving my prophethood. I will fashion a bird using clay, then breathe into it, and it will become a living bird with Allah's permission. I will cure the one who was born blind so that he can see, and the leper who will recover from his illness, and I will bring the dead back to life. I will do all of this with Allah's permission. I will tell you about what you consume and hide in your homes. All these extraordinary things I mentioned to you, which human beings cannot do, are a clear sign that I am Allah's messenger to you if you wish to believe and accept the proof. As we reflect over today's verses, when Zakariyyah alayhi salam entered upon Maryam, he witnessed something extraordinary. fruits of winter in the heat of summer, and fruits of summer in the chill of winter. He asked Maryam, how do you have this? And she said, it is from Allah. Indeed, Allah provides for whom He wills without measure. At that moment, something awakened within him. He was inspired. If Allah could reverse the seasons for her, could He not grant him his request as well? So he made dua to Allah and he said, رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مِن لَدُنْكَ ذُرِّيَّةً طَيِّبَةً إِنَّكَ سَمِيعُ الدُّعَاء, saying, my Lord, grant me from yourself a good offspring. Indeed, you are the hearer of supplication. Imam Alusi, he mentioned that he used the word hab, which means to grant, because a gift is a pure act of generosity that is given without anything in exchange, which perfectly fits his situation. He had no physical means left, neither from himself due to his old age, nor from his wife due to her barrenness. Even in old age, when all means were gone, Zakariyyah's hope remained, because he knew the one who creates without cause is never bound by cause. Zakariyyah alayhi salam, he received the glad tidings in the mihrab, which is a place of worship. So this teaches us to strive in devotion to Allah and persist in dua, for Allah will surely pour upon you from His endless generosity. Take the means but never depend upon them, for the one who created those means can prevent their effects even when they exist, and He can bring about outcomes without them. Then Allah gives him a sign. Your sign is that you will not speak to people for 3 days except through gestures. Shaykh al-Sa'di, he mentions that Allah wished to show him that He can withhold the effects of causes even when they exist, and bring about outcomes without them, so that all causes are known to lie under His decree and power. Then Allah, He shifts the story to Maryam, that she was chosen. Allah chose her, purified her, and chose her over the women of our time. And notice how she is being chosen by Allah Azza wa Jal. And what's the command being given to her? It's to devote herself in submission and worship to Allah. And Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, rahmatullah alayhi, he mentions that whenever Allah honors a person with a blessing, He expects from them greater worship and gratitude. And Imam al-Alusi, he explains that this command to bow and prostrate was to guard her from pride, to teach that the closer you are to Allah, the humbler you must become. And that's the hallmark of true honor. The higher Allah raises a person, the lower they bow in servitude. Not the opposite, where a person becomes arrogant and thinks it's because of them being special or their hard work that Allah has blessed them with this. Rather, when Allah chooses someone and blesses them, they should respond by humbling themselves in front of Allah. And when the angels gave her the news of a son, she said, how is that going to be possible when no man has touched me? And Allah said, كَذَلِكِ اللَّهُ يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ, that Allah creates whatever He wills. Ibn Ashur, he mentions that the word creates is used here, يَخْلُق, not يَفْعَل, that He does. Because the creation of Isa alayhi salam was a new kind of creation, bringing into existence a being without the usual means. Hence Allah chose the verb creates to emphasize the uniqueness of this act. And all He needs to do to make that happen is to say kun, be, and it is. Allah the Almighty, He highlights some of the miracles that Isa alayhi salam was given. He said, I'm the one who fashions for you a bird with clay, and then I breathe into it, then it becomes a live bird with the permission of Allah. And I cure and I heal by the permission of Allah. He's always pointing back to the source. The power lies not in the prophet, but in the one who sent him. And Ibn Kathir, he said that Allah sent each prophet with signs suited to his people. The people of Isa's time were skilled in medicine and science, so Allah gave him miracles that transcended their expertise. And Al-Baghawi, he adds, the blind and the leper were mentioned because their diseases were thought incurable, to prove that healing belongs to Allah alone. And Al-Razi, he also adds, in his saying, and He will speak to people in childhood and in maturity, there is a refutation of anyone who claims that Isa is divine. For if He were God, He would not pass through states from infancy to adulthood, for change and development are impossible for the divine. And everything about him, his birth, his miracles, his speech, declares not that he is God, but that God is one. So as we walk away from today's episode, we want to remind ourselves of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, in which he said, "There is no Muslim who supplicates to Allah with a dua free of sin or severing of family ties, except that Allah gives him one of three things. He grants what he asked, or saves it for him in the hereafter, or averts from him an equivalent harm." So we remind ourselves that no dua goes unheard. It's either answered, stored for us, or Allah gives us something better. So we do our part to make the dua and to know that Allah always answers, even when the answer takes a form that maybe you and I cannot see. May Allah make us amongst those who always supplicate to Him. May He answer our prayers. May He give us goodness in this world and the next. I'll see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.